Hey everyone, welcome to the Cool Water Show, episode 36 of it, over here on Silent Podcast, where we are anything but silent. We are talking about everything that's happened in the Real Housewives universe this week. I'm Kari, and I'm joined by my co-host, Katie. Katie, how are you?
I'm good. I feel like as soon as we went live, I had an overwhelming urge to clear my throat, and I was like totally fine before. So that's where I'm at right now in life. But I'm good. I'm good. It's Friday.
Nice.
It's the weekend. I'm feeling good.
Preach. Yes.
How are you?
I'm good. I have been a bit of a homemaker this week. I sent you the picture of the rug, which is
Mm-hmm.
like I didn't mention to you, deceptively difficult to put together because of the Velcro component of it. So
Mm.
if you end up with a ruggable rug, make sure you have a second person to help you.
That's good to
um,
know. That's good to
yeah,
know.
and you don't have a dog trying to like lay in the middle of it as you're trying to lay it flat. But no, so I was supposed to do a podcast last night that got canceled, and I was like, oh, I think I'll do like a jigsaw puzzle instead. But then realized that I had this desk drawer type of set thing that I bought off Amazon when I first moved, sitting in the corner of my office for the last 2 months. So last night I put that together.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and then earlier this week, I think I told you how I bought the meditating chair, the one that has that like lower shelf for your legs so you can sit like cross-legged and stuff. I think we
I
talked
don't
about it. Maybe
know.
I didn't tell you that I purchased it. Um,
Okay.
hold on, let me see if I can get this on camera. So if you're on YouTube, you get to see me try and lift this thing. But so see how it
Oh,
has
yes.
this
Okay, we did.
like lower shelf. Yeah, when I had my end of year review and found out I was getting a 4% raise, I bought it for myself because
Oh, hell
I
yeah.
need to justify it. So I've been putting shit together left and right. I'm Bob the Builder out in these streets.
Yeah. Wow. I'm impressed. So
Thank you.
handy.
Yeah, I'm trying to make a house a home over
Mm,
here.
I love it. I love it.
Thanks. So yeah, I'm doing good.
Good. I started Orange Theory Fitness this week, which I think I told you. I had 2 classes so far. It's kicking my ass, if I'm being honest. If anybody listening does Orange Theory, you can probably relate. But apparently it's this thing called Hell Week, which I've also told you, which is the hardest week of the
Of the
year.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. That's my whole week. That's pretty
I
much it. I went
I,
twice, but
for,
that's all. That's the only notable thing about my week to share.
I forgot that you went again.
Yes,
I knew you went the
yesterday.
first time, then yesterday you went again. Well,
Mm-hmm,
you're
mm-hmm.
alive. You've made it.
I am alive. I actually had a yesterday was significantly easier, which I guess like you would expect because it's like I already know, oh, there's a rower, there's a treadmill, there's floor workouts, like I know what to expect here. But it
Mm-hmm.
felt like the class itself was a little easier too, so like I enjoyed it much more yesterday.
Oh, good. I'm
Yeah. And I
glad.
was very nervous because I was like, oh my God, I went to one hell week and it was so hard. I can't do another one. But like, no, this one was much better.
You did it.
I did
Proud of
it.
you.
Thank you.
Because I
Proud of
remember saying,
you.
like, listen, Katie, you did one. So,
I
like,
know,
it
it's
can't be
true.
that bad. It'll be
It was pretty
fine.
bad. It was pretty bad. But
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm
sore
sure it
anymore,
was.
so there's that.
Good. I'm glad.
It's a win.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have what, 3 episodes of TV to talk about? Technically 4 if you want to tune in later when we talk about the challenge. But here we're just gonna focus on Bravo.
Yeah. I think we have like maybe 5 of Bravo that we haven't touched
Oh,
on, but it's like fine. Like we said before we went live, we're gonna go on vibes. So like maybe things will mesh together. Who knows?
yeah, I forgot that. I really do think we talked about the last Salt Lake City because we talked about Heather and Whitney fighting. And I feel like that didn't that get resolved at the beginning of this episode? No? I don't even remember. Forget it.
I
Whatever. So
don't think
let's talk
so.
while we're talking about Salt Lake City, let's just start there because
Okay.
I like to start from the bottom and work my way to the top.
Yeah.
To me, and I'm going to talk about this past week's episode because I'm not 100% confident I can really remember stuff from the week
It's
before.
fine. I don't remember much either. It's totally fine.
Cool. This has been the most enjoyable episode so far. I feel like we're getting a little bit better, a little bit lighter. People don't hate each other as much as they used to because I mean, we saw in one of these last 2 episodes like Meredith and Lisa Barlow gave each other this like massive hug and just kind of like
Yeah.
stood there, and it's like, okay, maybe we will see some peace out of these women. But a lot, it to me, and then tell me what you think, feels like we're revolving, like Whitney's almost like the centerpiece of everything this season so far.
Yeah, I agree with you. And as someone who doesn't care for Whitney, it's not really, the season isn't giving me what I was hoping for. I
Yeah.
remember when Atlanta ended and Beverly Hills was starting to end. We were like, okay, it's like new era, nice and fresh. We're on to Salt Lake City, we're on to Potomac. And I'm like, I'm already done with Potomac, I feel. I'm not done. I'm going to keep watching it, but like,
Wait, not with
it's,
Potomac, with Salt Lake
I'm
City.
sorry,
We
Salt
love
Lake City. Salt
Potomac.
Lake City. Yes, we love
We
Potomac.
love
Sorry, my bad.
Potomac.
Salt
I
Lake
was
City,
like,
I'm not like
what?
done, but I'm not like, I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah, I didn't hate this week as much as I did past weeks, but I've already tweeted twice in what, 5 episodes that I'm not enjoying this season.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping things move up from here because it it seems like there's less like knives out or trying to just destroy each other, and we're getting past that. We're also hopefully getting a few more new personalities coming in with, well, I guess Angie isn't new, but
Mhm.
new for this season in terms of like some faces to see, because it's
Yeah.
just been very heavily focused on these 5 women.
Yeah. I think that's why this episode felt a little, you know, yeah, I think that's why this episode, let me finish one thought before I start another one. Felt a little lighter than the last because there were additional people in the mix and it wasn't just like these people on top of each other fighting in a house that like they can't escape from. And I feel like Housewives is doing this thing now, and they've been doing it for the past couple of years, where like they start the season with like a small trip and then they end the season with like a big cast trip. I don't
Mhm.
need to start the season with a trip. Like let us just like be in the environment for a little bit, like
Yeah.
build some things naturally. We don't need to like shove them in a house, especially in like Scottsdale, Arizona, on a bar bike or whatever it's called in the middle of a strip mall. Like I'm good on that. Like we don't need it. We don't need it.
A pedal tavern.
Pedal tavern, thank you.
You're
Bike
welcome.
bar, bar
It's only
bike.
because I heard my brother swear them off so many times when we
Yes.
were in Nashville that the name
Hmm.
just is stuck in my head.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think one of the other issues is due to the fact that Whitney seems to be the centerpiece. Whitney isn't the centerpiece with fun drama right now, which I think is also
No.
making it difficult
We're on her
between,
healing journey.
yes,
And
this
we're talking about
healing
a lot
journey.
about her fillings.
um sorry, that just caught me off guard and I just wasn't ready for that impersonation.
I can't
It's,
like not. I just I'm like in the middle of my healing. Like I just can't do it. I can't do it. My healing.
I don't know if I've said this out loud. I know I've had this thought in my head at least for the last 2 to 3 sound baths that we've heard, but I'm so fucking sick of being on healing journeys
I
on
can't
or
do it
going on
anymore.
healing experiences with these housewives where they sit in front of whoever and they lay on the ground, and all the energies and the auras and the sound bowls and the shamans, and like, remember the dude on New Jersey? You had to get the horse to like pick its leg up because you were being like honest or whatever. Like it was back in the day with the Manzos.
Yeah, and Joe was
Like
yeah, I remember Joe. Yep, yep.
all of them, all of them. I like, I kind of, why we like these women, because they're fucked up and we don't need them to
Yeah.
heal. Stop healing. It's not fun to watch either.
Yes, it's not. I am very much Kathy Hilton in the sound bath where she just goes to sleep. Like it puts me to sleep on the show. So I just I'm with you 100%. And I think the thing with Whitney's healing journey is that like I don't know what she's healing from. I'm not getting it. There's like 85 different people in her family, and I don't know who any of them are. And it's like, oh, I have these brothers, but then I also have these brothers, but then these are my half sisters, which like, cool, I get it. My family, I have like half things and whatever. Everybody has their own things in their family. It's fine. But like, I don't know who. Why are we making this a like? Do it off camera. Just do it off camera because I don't know who these people are. And then like, and like I've said, I'm empathetic about her, what she's going through, and the fact that she found out that she was abused and has this PTSD and these memories are coming back to her. But we don't know what it is that she's healing from, other than like, I'm leaving the church and I'm sorry, I see your face. I can't not say healing because that's what she says. I don't know what she's healing from because she's not telling us about her feelings. Like, I don't understand. Like, she's just saying, like, now that I found out about this abuse and this other stuff, and again, I feel bad and I feel sorry and I'm sorry that she's going through this. And it's not for us to know. Like, I don't need to know who abused you and what kind of abuse happened, but it's hard for me to connect to the story because it's just very like, feels very top level and we're really not digging in. And I don't want to dig in. I just don't want to, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. And part of the issue is like, one, that topic's not fun. The second one I would say that she's going through is leaving the Mormon church, which politely Heather Gay did it first. So like
I know. It's so bizarre. It's the same story that Heather did. I'm kind of almost more interested in Whitney's though.
Yeah, I do think there is a level of interest in the fact that she's admitting she cheated on her husband, and what she learned was that she should have been excommunicated on the spot, but because she's a woman, it's left to the men to decide. And if she basically just like went to church the next day, she all was forgiven, which also shows what a fucking racket any religion is. But
Yeah.
we're not here for
That's a
that
different
conversation
podcast.
today. Yeah, we haven't gotten that one greenlit yet, but if we do, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
Jesus on or off the cross with Kari and Katie.
Oh, love it. I love it.
So there's like that, which I do think there is a level of interest, but it's more interesting because her husband was excommunicated for the same thing and she's tried to leave multiple times, whatever. But like politely, this was Heather's storyline first. So
not only that, but it didn't feel like we got anything from Whitney when Heather was like, it's not like Whitney was like, yeah, I tried to leave too, or I've tried to leave 3 times. So it's interesting that you're leaving. And it's almost, and I don't think Heather has gone through this phase where she's like officially like signed a notarized letter, which I'm like confused. Didn't she go to a website that was like leavingmormonism.com or something like that? It just feels all really weird. And then they had to like notarize a letter to be able to leave. I don't know. Did Julie go through this? I would love to know.
Oh,
Fuck
gosh.
Julie, by the way.
I wasn't expecting a Julie drop here.
Whenever I hear anything about Mormon people, I always think about Julie. Yeah.
That makes sense. So,
but the thing is with Whitney, Heather made it very like, my family's going to be so upset. And Whitney's like, I've been trying to get the fuck out of here for a bunch of time. And they like wouldn't let me. So now I'm just doing it, which I don't know why it's different now.
I think, well, weren't the first 2 times with her first husband?
And I guess, but I think she said that her husband, yeah, I guess she said, maybe I'm misremembering or understanding, which is totally possible. But I think she said something like, even though we were divorced or even though I cheated, like I was like still bound to him. So I guess maybe they went through a legal divorce and now she can do what she wants. Yeah.
Does she have kids?
Yeah, they have kids. I don't know if they're kids with her first husband or with Justin.
Okay.
What's his name? Yeah. Justin. He doesn't look like a Justin.
Bro, I have no idea.
He looks like a Frank, but I know his name is like not Frank. It's definitely, I'm pretty sure it's Justin. Or like a Jim.
You could say anything right now and I would believe it. So whatever.
Yeah, but if I told you his name was like Kyle, you'd be like, no, it's not. He doesn't look like a Kyle.
Well, because right now when you say Kyle, I just think of Kyle in a sparkly dress with like fake backpack straps sobbing on a couch.
Understandable. It's understandable.
So, but that's recency bias speaking there. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'd be like, are you sure it's Kyle? But if you had said it in like the right way, right tone, I would just believe it.
Okay. Good to know.
So
I'm just going to make up names for this guy from now on and see which ones. See when you call me on it.
I'm going to be like, wait, whose husband is that?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that storyline with her leaving and using leaving Mormons or whatever, Mormonism.com. And then her drama with Heather, also like not fun drama. And I don't know if
No.
we're just like missing the mark over here with Salt Lake City's producers and thinking like, oh, best friends now fighting. People are gonna love to see this, but like, do you have a side in, or do you think someone is more right than wrong in this? Like, what do you make of this drama? Because it kind, I don't want to say it got resolved, but we had a Heather Whitney like sober blowout last
Yeah.
week. Then this week, they talked again when they went skiing, which had a totally different tone to it. But where do you stand in all of this?
You know, a coworker asked me this the other day. I've recently been talking to a coworker about Housewives, and she was like, "Which one should I watch?" I told her start. I always tell people to start with Salt Lake because it's the shortest one. It's only 2 seasons, so like it's easy to get into. So now she's caught up, and she asked me the other day, like, "What do you? Whose side are you on? Like, what's your opinion on it?" And I don't care. I guess
Mm-hmm.
is my. I don't care. I don't care for either one of them greatly. I like Heather, I guess. I think in real life, if I knew Heather, I would like her. I don't really
Mm-hmm.
love her as a housewife because I feel like she feels like a fan to me. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that in like a degrading way, but like
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I should be a housewife. I'm a fan. Like, and I should stay a fan because I'm already too interested in how like the sausage is made, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like she's kind of like that. Like, I don't know. I feel like she does things on purpose to be relatable to fans because she like is a fan, so she feels like she knows what's going to resonate. But I feel like if I knew her in real life, maybe I would like her. I don't know. This whole thing to me though is I don't know what we're fighting about. I believe that Heather didn't hear whatever Angie said, if Angie said it. I
Same.
believe that. So I guess that makes me on Heather's side, but I also feel like she's being a total asshole to Whitney. So I guess that also makes me partially on Whitney's side, but I also feel like Whitney is conflating you didn't have my back when I was going through a tough scenario, even though I'm the one that stirred the pot with a thing that you didn't remember. So it's almost like, what are we fighting about here? Like, are we fighting that you're going through your healing journey and she wasn't nice to you during it? Or like, and she said you're making it all about you? Are we fighting that she said she didn't remember what Angie said? Like, what are we fighting about? I just don't know what the fight's about.
Yeah, I completely get what you're saying because it feels like Whitney is using Heather not remembering the that Angie said that Lisa Barlow gives like blowjobs to some dude to get courtside Utah Jazz seats, um, to as her vehicle to be mad that Heather is not being sensitive to her while she's
Right.
going through this difficult time. And it's like, okay, well, let's like pick what thing we want to be mad
Yeah, like
about.
just say that and I think that's fine. But the fact that it's like tied to this Lisa Barlow thing, it doesn't make sense because Whitney also like this is why I don't like Whitney because Whitney stirs the pot and then goes and runs and is like, guess what this person said? Like I said it too, but like guess what this person said about you. And even Lisa
Mhm.
this week was like, she came to me with a bad truth. It's better than a good lie or whatever. And I'm like, okay, but she kind of started it. Like I just
Yeah.
the whole thing is just I just don't care. Like I just truly don't care. It just feels like these women came in the season with predetermined alliances, which I hate, and they're sticking to it no matter what. Like Lisa Barlow should be mad at Whitney. She really should be, but she's not because they're already formed an alliance coming into the season.
Yeah. I don't, is it alliances or is it more like friendships of convenience? Because
Right.
I think I'm still on the bandwagon that you only waited 2 months between like seasons really in terms of having they had their reunion and they had their reunion at a point a little bit or they like made them watch the rest of the season before having the reunion because of Lisa's like hot mic moment,
Mm.
and then a short time after start filming again. And I get it because they wanted to like rush it for Jen Shaw and her jury or her trial, but it's just I feel like people are they're like rallying around Jen as like the false we're okay being around each other, let's support her, like this facade. But then you still have all these people still angry at each other that I'm not, it's not fun. It's not fun. I was actually really glad to like see Angie come in and just be a little bit different and mix
Yeah.
things up a bit. Like, okay, Heather and Angie are getting along, great. And then like Heather inviting Angie and Lisa being mad. Okay, Lisa's mad at someone else. Great.
Yeah.
Let's mix it up a little. But the fact that Whitney, what the fuck? Kari, get it together. Whitney is the centerpiece of all this is I think the problem because um to me, I think her role is pot stirrer, but she's not the type of pot stirrer that can be the main character as well. Like
Right.
she
She's
needs
not
to,
a Kyle.
yeah, she needs to stir the pots so the main characters can be the main, like have something to react to. And the
Yeah.
fact that like we're kind of relying on her to be the center person right now, I think that's like a misstep in direction here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just think she's too messy. I think she's just too blatant and messy to be the centerpiece. Where, like, and you know, I'm not a Kyle Richards fan, but like, she does it in a way where, I mean, it's still very obvious, but like, it's still, she's not really like making the whole season about her in the way that like Whitney's kind of making the season about her. I don't know. I'm not, I think my other issue with Salt Lake City right now is Jen Shah and the fact that like every week it's like, this is about Jen Shah. She has to go to New York and be on trial all by herself. She has to go. And oh my God. And it's like, actually, she defrauded the elderly and she's a
Yeah.
fucking piece of shit and she shouldn't be on TV anymore. So like, she pled guilty after this. So like, we should, I just wish there was some kind of like disclaimer or like maybe newer filmed confessionals or something in the show. So it doesn't seem like we're like, poor Jen, even though we all know what happened. So like, I don't care. None of this is resonating with me at all because like, I don't fucking care. We already know she
Yeah.
pled guilty. I'm done with her. She's going to go to jail. Goodbye. Like, I don't need to see her. Edit her out of the season. Like, I don't need to see her anymore.
I was gonna say give her the D from the challenge edit where
Yeah.
it's like,
D
oh,
her
she's
right
gotta
out
be
of here.
gone. She's gotta be
Exactly.
gone. If you aren't a challenge fan, back in after the George Floyd murder and the resulting up uptake in like Black Lives Matter and all of that the stuff that rightfully went along with pushing, you know, like I guess civil rights agendas, which should not have to happen in 2022, but or I guess 2020. But we were there, we lived it, and Dee was a character on the challenge. She is Australian and um, decided to make a comment that was not not appropriate, and so
Yeah.
especially with the topic of the content and what was going on in the real world, they basically just edited her out of the season. And she was a main character
Main
in the season.
character.
Like they more or less were building that season around her because she was a villain who was also winning things. And yeah, it
Yeah.
was they edited her out. So
And Bravo has done it as well on Below Deck. They've done it. There was a guy whose name I don't remember, nor do I care to look up, who posted extremely racist, horrible imagery, who was a deckhand or something on the season. And he was on like maybe 3 or 4 episodes. And then Bravo edited his ass right out. Like he was on the whole show, the season, the whole time. And we never saw him. He wasn't at the reunion. Like that was it. He was done. So just do it with Jen or just do like something small. I just at least cut out the scenes, acknowledge it, or cut out the scenes where she's like, oh, nobody believes it. Like everyone's questioning my innocence. And Sharif is like, we're going to get through this. And it's like, I cannot do this. I cannot do this. Also, I know it's a topic of conversation all over the place about like, why is everybody so mad at Erica, but no one's mad at Sharif and whatever. I'm mad at Sharif now. I believe that Sharif knew. I feel like he had to have known that she's pleading guilty. Like, I just can't. I love Sharif. I think he's a great house husband. Like, Coach Shaw, we love you. But, like, I'm sorry, you had to have known. You had to have had some kind of idea where the money's coming from. And I don't even feel like, oh, poor Sharif and the family that they're going through this. Nope. I don't care anymore. I actually don't care about anybody other than Jen's kids because they seem like good kids and this sucks for them. But, like, I'm over it.
yeah.
I've lost any, like, goodwill I had for anyone.
Is it weird that I didn't think of like his role in this until you just brought it up? Like, I
It's
don't know
weird because
why.
everybody, and this is not me defending Erica, because Erica benefited from stealing money from the victims of a plane crash or the family members of victims of a plane crash, plus other victims of other things as well. Like, that wasn't the
Yeah.
only thing. So maybe she's been legally cleared, but like, let's not get it twisted. She spent that money, and
Yeah.
she's, for legal reasons, I am in court for legal reasons. Hi, Nitro. To
I
get my
told Scholar.
earrings
That was my
back.
fault. Yeah.
No, it's okay. Like, she's still trying to take money that was rightfully belonging to someone else that she benefited from for her whole marriage. So she's like, she's a little bit of a villain for sure. But I just feel like Sharif is also using the money that Jen
Yeah.
is defrauding from the elderly.
No, I agree. I just haven't really like thought of it. I don't know why. Maybe it's because with Erica, she's the housewife who benefited versus
Yeah.
here the housewife is the criminal. So
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. It's weird because it's different. It feels different. Maybe it's because Sharif isn't making songs called like "It's Expensive to Be Me" and "How Many
yeah,
Fucks Do I Give?" But I would like to hear him come out and say like, "Hey, I didn't know this was going on, and this sucks that my wife did that. She pled guilty. It's fucked up that she defrauded elderly people." And I haven't seen a statement from him.
no, I agree with you. And I bet you he. Oh, my sure just put his face in the microphone. I'm just gonna like bark or something. I bet you he probably is advised, especially not just by legal teams, but also like his football job to just keep your mouth shut. Like
Yeah.
it's. I mean, I feel very much in sports. The code of conduct there is just like keep your head down, mind your own business, like keep it moving type of
Yeah.
thing. And I mean, that would make sense for him to not open his mouth where I mean Erica opens her mouth because that's how she makes her money.
Right.
She's a public figure where he benefits from just laying low and continuing to coach, I don't know, wide receivers or whoever he coaches.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I hate to say I'm over it already in like episode 3 or something. 4,
I
3.
think we're at 5.
Oh shit.
Yeah. But
Wow.
yeah, I think we're at 5. I agree. I'm Salt Lake City was fun in its own like quirky way for the first, I would say, season and a half or so.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're losing that unfortunately, and we need hopefully we shake it up a bit, and because we know there's what at least 2 more friends of that need to start
I think
appearing
we
more
met them
regularly.
maybe today. Not today. I watched it again today, but this week. We
Both
had
of them.
Angie H, Angie K, and then I don't know, is the girl who was Heather's Beauty Lab friend, whose name I don't remember, starts with a D.
uh
Deanna.
who's the one that like gets in Jen Shah's face in the trailer?
I think that's the other Angie.
Oh, okay.
I
I
think.
believe you.
I don't know. I'm looking it up. Friends of. Let's see.
While you're looking that up, something I did enjoy.
Dana. Yes, we met all 3 of them this week. The
Okay,
other girl, Dana, is the other friend of.
I watched this morning and I don't even remember meeting her. Like I've watched this within the last 12 hours.
The one thing I remember specifically about her is she said, "You know how Jennifer Lopez is Jenny from the block? I'm Dana from the
Uh,
park." And I was like, "Oh, I hate you. I hate you."
yeah, she didn't even like register on my radar. I heard that and I
Yeah.
was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Um, I don't know how you felt about this part, but I kind of like having Brooks. That's the son's name, right?
Oh, I hate Brooks.
That's the thing. It's like he annoyed
I
me.
hate Brooks.
He annoyed me, but like I thought that he brought just like the right level of um like sass in a way that we haven't really seen this season where he's like, "Yeah, dad, I've been in a relationship. I've had a boyfriend for 2 years." And just kind of the I don't know, it just brought like a levity that I felt like I hadn't felt all season. Now it's like,
Hmm.
"Okay, this is a nice little reprieve where um because in his own right, like Brooks is as controversial as any of these housewives are living in
And
Mormon
that's why I
Utah.
don't like Brooks, because I don't need your kids to be main characters of the show.
Yeah. And he hasn't been, which is nice. He came back, he was on for 5-ish minutes and just provided like a nice little break from Whitney, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice to be away from Whitney. I think something I noticed in the last couple of episodes of Salt Lake City, which is, I think, the main reason why Meredith Marks just gives me cringe along with Brooks, is that it's like everything has to be some kind of like merchandising opportunity. Like
Yeah.
when she was at the ski thing, she had a shirt on at the bar that said Meredith Marks Après Ski. And I'm like, what kind of a loser do you have to be to wear a shirt that says your full fucking name on it? You are
Mhm.
Meredith Marks and you're wearing a shirt that says Meredith Marks. Like, do you think Roberto Cavalli is wearing a shirt that says Roberto Cavalli? That's just like the first. But like, I don't think so.
Mhm.
Is Donatella Versace wearing a shirt that says Donatella Versace fashion design? Like, no, she's not. So like, let's chill on that for a second. Like, you're a loser. And I think she's a loser for wearing all this I Love New York stuff. Like, just let it go. Let it go. It's not funny to me. It's completely not funny to me.
Yeah, I would never use the word funny to describe Meredith.
She like thinks she's being like cheeky or something with
Yeah.
like I love New York. And okay, maybe that one, fine, get an I love New York mug and make a joke out of what Lisa said. But like, you're wearing an I love New York shirt, you're posting on Instagram all these merchandise that you're making. It's like, you're not Dorinda Medley. Okay, not everything is going to be like I made it nice, and even that's too much. So like, just stop.
Mhm.
Just stop. We have too much of this in the Housewives universe.
Yeah, where like they're not people, they're brands, or at least trying to
Yeah,
be.
like everything they say has to be a catchphrase, or everything that's said about you has to be a catchphrase. Like those types of housewives to me, they just don't resonate and they don't really like last. And I feel like once they get to that point in their housewivedom, that's when they really start going downhill. Like Dorinda is just a caricature of herself at this point. Meredith Marks,
Mhm.
we don't even like know Meredith Marks as a person. I feel like everything is just like this. Like I don't feel like I know who she is or anything about her at all, other than like her husband's a creep and her son annoys
Mhm.
me. That's all I know. Who made a tracksuit? Like that's all I know.
Yeah.
And now you're trying to sell me shit on top of it. Like I don't even fucking know you. I'm not buying your shit. Sheree,
Mhm.
I would buy her shit. I've been with Sheree for her whole career on Housewives. I've been with her since the early 2000s. Like, if her sweatshirts weren't over $200, maybe I would buy one. I'm sorry, Sheree, I'm not spending that. But like, I would like to support you if you lower your prices.
Yeah, those sweatshirts are too much. We've already ranted about that before.
Yeah.
Um, all right. After, so what? Heather organizes a skiing trip with her cousins, invites all the women.
I could rant
Uh,
about this too, but I feel like I've been doing nothing but ranting, so I'll
well,
leave
the
it.
thing is, like, I swear I watched this morning, but I also watched it while I was getting ready. Like, I was like answering work emails and stuff. Like, I don't know if you
Hmm.
do this, but like, I turned on the computer and I feel like
Yeah.
the first hour to hour and a half of my day is really just me like waiting for my first actual obligation and then
Yeah.
I start
Yeah.
working. So, I had like that on the side screen and so I was watching, but they went skiing. And so we had, I guess, like two bigger conversations, which were Heather and Whitney. And then Angie tried to talk to Lisa.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of it. Like Lisa was surprised that Angie was there.
Yeah.
I just like don't find watching skiing interesting, and I feel like we've had it on so many shows because Beverly Hills went to Aspen and they
Hmm.
were skiing, and it's like I don't need to see Housewives falling down skiing. Obviously, they're gonna go in Salt Lake City because it's like a ski town, so they're
Hmm.
gonna just have a day trip skiing. But like, I don't need to see it. Even Winter House this week, which if you're not watching Winter House, you're doing yourself a huge disservice because it's just a hot mess. And I watch it with my mouth agape every week. It's just wild.
I watched
But
the
they went
first
skiing.
30 minutes when I was in Denver, but then we got permission to watch the next episode of The Mole, so we didn't because we were
Mm.
waiting on JD to agree to podcast about both the final episodes of The Mole.
Oh,
And
okay, good.
once we were like, we gotta turn this off, we gotta watch
Yeah.
this. So um maybe I'll return to it.
I have a
I
lot of
am
Winter House thoughts. I would love to do a breakout episode of Winter House. if you are
Okay.
interested.
Good to know. I'll put that on the agenda. The hard part is like not to make this a completely personal podcast. In 2 weeks, I have to start taking a second class. So I'll be taking 2 classes at once for 5 weeks and like um that just takes a lot of time, but
Yeah,
so
that's a
I'm
lot.
gonna, like, not do a lot of things for these, like, next 2 weeks,
Yes,
which
that makes
means watch a
sense.
lot of TV, which means watch a lot of TV. That's, like,
Yeah,
my not doing things, so maybe I'll get into it. I do plan on starting with this new, Below Deck that is beginning November 1st. I'm gonna watch
yeah,
that week by week because that is my next Bravo series to, like, consume from beginning to end
I
is
love Below
Below
Deck.
Deck. I think I've told you, Southwest, like, has Bravo as one of the free
Hmm.
TV channels you can watch, and so a lot of times it's on when I'm flying, so I've, like, seen random episodes, but I wanna watch all of it.
Yeah, I'm
This
due for a Below Deck marathon because I haven't been keeping up with. There's like 3 different Below Decks on right now or
Yeah,
something, and I haven't watched any of them, so I have to catch up.
yeah. So I'm gonna start the one that starts November 1st and keep up with that while catching up with others. But I'm kind of like bouncing around TV shows because now that I'm almost done with Housewives, I'm watching Dallas. I've felt like more free and just like watching other shows. Like I watched the whole D'Amelio family show. So if you want to talk
Yes.
about Charlie or Dixie D'Amelio, I'm your girl. And other things. But yeah, anyway, yeah, those conversations happened. Like skiing happened. Skiing also happened in Dubai on this season. So when you said
Yeah, it's
that, I
like
was
too
like,
much
I
skiing on
agree.
TV. I don't need it.
Yeah. I feel like because it's a rich people activity, and that's like the point that they're making
But it's
is
always the
like,
same. It's like you can't see
yeah,
who anybody is, and it's like I suck at skiing, and I'm good at skiing, and it's like you get this montage of this person like killing it, and then it's montage of these
yeah,
other people just like tumbling down a hill. It's like, all right, it was funny the first time.
yeah. No, I agree. You're just not a big like housewives activities person anyway, so that
It's
doesn't
true. In
help the
general, I'm
cause.
really not. Yeah.
But we kind of talked about Heather and Whitney already that they're like in this weird space because Whitney is like taking Heather's actions very deeply when Heather's just like, I just didn't hear this. And
Yeah.
uh like, sorry I didn't agree with you in the moment, but I'm not going to lie about it. So
Right.
there's that. And then we end really with Lisa being like, I don't want to talk to you, Angie. Like, what lies are you going to tell about me now? Which the lies are apparently the jazz ticket blowjobs and that Lisa Barlow tried to or Lisa Barlow was behind like a catering company pulling out of Angie's party
Yeah,
last
this was
season.
like last season
The
drama
very
because
beginning of
very
last
be it was
season
like the first 2
was
episodes.
a
Yeah.
6-month season. So we're
Yes.
talking about a long time ago at this point.
Yes. And I don't like Angie. She's like gives me Joker vibes. Like she's in and she's like acting like she's the Joker, just like there to cause drama. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad someone else is stirring it up that's not Whitney. So I'll take
Yeah.
it. Like I'll see what the fallout is from it. But like as a person, I don't like her. Like I don't like her energy.
Yeah.
But she told first of all, she feels like she's drunk all the time. Like I
Hmm.
just get like constantly drunk vibes. She's like, yeah, vodka, and she's like, I'll go to the bar. It's just like okay, and she also told Heather that she didn't believe or she didn't remember saying that or didn't say that to Whitney. And I kind of don't really believe that she didn't say it. Like I believe that she said it, and I think Whitney's spreading it because she has like a very specific like, no, we were here, and she said this, and this person was there, and you were 2 rows
Mhm.
back. Like it seems like it definitely happened, and it seems like Heather didn't hear it, but Angie's like, no, I didn't say that. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
think you probably said that though. Like you probably did.
No, I think I agree with everything you just said that like Angie is trying to save face when I believe that Heather didn't hear it because I
Yeah.
think when Heather said like, "Listen, I wish I had that information about Lisa Barlow," like
Right.
I would love to know that. I so I definitely believe that part, but I don't believe that Angie didn't say it because then, if nothing else, like Whitney doesn't. We when has Whitney lied about anything?
Yeah, like I don't think she just makes things up out of thin air like that.
No.
Like she'll use information from
Yeah.
people. And also Meredith said she had heard that Lisa was doing favors for people to get her tequila. So it's like obviously that's going around from somewhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't it seems like next week things are gonna get interesting with Angie and that Jen Shah has an
Yeah.
issue with Angie. And that I'm here. Give me that Jen Shah. I don't want to hear like, oh, I'm innocent, I'm crying. Like give me Jen Shah
Mhm.
like getting activated on Angie Harrington. Like I'm fine with that.
Yeah. No, the preview did make it seem like next week was going to be a better episode. So
Yeah.
we're going to find out that Tucker gets fired from his job because Whitney is a public figure and um, that's like the cause of it. So there's
Yeah.
that. And then it looks like Angie shows up in like a gold sparkly dress to
Looking
audition
like
for
the
something for
fucking
Jen.
Joker. She's like
Yeah.
looks I know the Joker doesn't wear gold, but she's like a clown to me.
Mhm.
This woman.
Yeah. And where there's going to be drama from it. So listen, if her looking like a clown is going to give me some different drama than the shit we've been dealing with like over and over again, great. Thank you, Angie. I appreciate your
Yeah.
efforts.
Also, it sounds like her husband is running an anti-Jen Shah Instagram, which is like
Oh,
wild.
yeah. Shaw exposed.
Yeah, like what? I should look at that Instagram before next week.
I wonder if
Um,
it's been shut down already because this would have been a little
I
while ago.
wonder. Yeah, I wonder. Also, one thing that we didn't talk about, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but like Lisa Barlow getting duct taped to a pole by her brother.
And people just like not helping her.
Yeah, like what is that? What is this?
I don't know. I didn't do things like that to my siblings.
She's like, oh my God, hey B. And she's like, oh, my brother, he actually duct taped me to a pole and no one helped me. I'm like, wait, are you like laughing about that? Like, I don't really know. That sounds pretty extreme. No one helped me.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Also,
Yeah,
like
like what? I don't get
how
it.
were there any repercussions for your brother? I feel like
It just seems like a weird nugget of information to just drop in a confessional and then just be like, hey B on FaceTime. It's strange.
yeah, absolutely.
She's an enigma to me.
Yeah, she's weird. Her perception of things like and how she approaches stuff is very strange. It is we
Yeah,
do not think similarly, but I enjoy seeing her. Nitro's getting loud. But
that's okay. He
it's
has
fine.
feelings. Lisa
Yeah,
Barlow.
it's been a while since he's been like vocal during
Yeah,
the
it really has
podcast,
been.
to be honest. So
He's due.
yeah. He just needs to get a word in.
Yeah, understandable.
All right, well, let's transition over to Beverly Hills. And so there's been debate on if we covered episode 2 and of the reunion, but we know we haven't covered episode 3.
I don't think we did because we didn't talk about the Garcelle book situation,
Oh, you're absolutely correct. Okay.
which is really the only notable thing that happened in part 2 of the reunion.
Yeah, which also relates heavily to episode 3 or like episode 3 of the reunion for me because we talk about Garcelle's book, specifically how there was a picture on Instagram of Erica throwing the book in the trash and being like, I know you have me blocked or whatever, but I know you'll see this. And it ends up it was Lisa Rinna's book in the trash, like that she threw in her picture.
Yeah. Andy actually publicly apologized to Garcelle. I don't know if you heard this on his radio show, but he publicly apologized because that was like he was getting so rightfully so. Andy is out of touch completely with everything around him. I don't know what it is. It's just really bad. It's really bad. And he just moved on from this so quickly and just like started joking around. Like he didn't even like give Garcelle a chance to speak about her book being. It's such an accomplishment to write a book. And I don't know if she actually wrote the book or if someone wrote it for her, but either way, it's an accomplishment. And it sounds like she talked about a lot of shit, like this Bill Cosby thing. And also, I mean, I didn't read it, but it sounds like she really delved deep into a lot of things. And Andy didn't even like give her a minute to talk. He just immediately turned his head and was like, do you recycle? And then they started joking like, actually, I know I was getting issues for the phone. And they just like made a joke about it. And it's like, he never even asked him a question about like, do you apologize for throwing this book? And Andy, who has written books, do you want people to throw your book in the trash. Like I just it feels like give at least hold their feet to the fire a little bit. And he apologized to Garcelle because people were really going for him on the internet, like really going for him. And Garcelle deserves a public apology, so I'm glad that he did that. But like he shouldn't have acted in that way. It's just like he just wants to like he with Erica and Rinna,
Yeah.
and that's all he cares about.
I hate the way that he approaches some of the housewives versus the others. Like,
Women of color.
yeah, essentially. It doesn't seem like he talks to Garcelle in the same way that he talks to Crystal, but it's still like the slights
Yep.
in not providing them the same opportunity to explain themselves, that like Kyle can butt in and make anything about her that she wants to, which she did again in this reunion episode. And
Oh my god. Yeah.
um yeah, these reunions are tough. Like it's unfortunate that it's taken so long for Bravo to make the casts at least have some diversity to them. But then when you bring on people who don't look like Andy and then he treats them so poorly, it's like I would Garcelle is amazing. She is such a good housewife. She is good at reacting. She's good at starting difficult conversations. She's good at holding difficult conversations. And she brings a level of like realness, but also like a level higher than we'll ever be at type of thing. Like she's so
Yeah.
good at it. But you're pushing this woman out by treating
Oh
her
yeah. Oh
the
yeah.
way you are. And it's like it sucks that this has to happen. And it doesn't have to happen. It sucks that it is happening because Andy acts this way.
Yeah, I agree. I have a lot of feelings about it. I feel like I've had these feelings for a while about Andy, just even like underlying how I don't like the way that Andy treats housewives in general. I think
Mm-hmm.
there are some that he respects because I feel like he feels like they're his equal in some ways. Like Rinna, I think he feels like is his equal because she's been in Hollywood for a while. Kyle,
Mm-hmm.
same thing. I feel like because she's in a connected family, like it feels like he has a different relationship with her. Some of like the OGs, I guess, that are
Mm-hmm.
not train wrecks because like he doesn't respect Ramona. I guess he has some respect for Luann, but like not that much. There are some, Vicky, I feel like he just like laughs at, but like Tamra, it feels like he has more respect for her. So it's like he
I
picks and
think
chooses.
Candy he does as well.
Yes, Candy for sure. But like it feels like the rest of them, he takes cheap shots and jabs at
Mm-hmm.
these women who have made him a fucking celebrity. Like he would be
Yeah.
nowhere if it weren't for these women. And sometimes when he asks them questions about like plastic surgery or what kind of work did you get done or just like these really disrespectful questions
Mm-hmm.
coming from this white man who's rich, who's an executive, who's their boss, like it just comes off in a way that like leaves a really bad taste in my mouth. So then especially when it's with women of color and the way he treats Crystal and Candace and Garcelle and others, like Garcelle, I think he holds in a higher regard than Crystal
Mm-hmm.
and Candace, but the way he treats Candace is disgusting. Like he's
Yeah.
disgusting to Candace. So it's just like I don't know, something it just doesn't something rubs me the wrong way about him. And he does it to other people on his show too. Like on Watch What Happens Live, he does it too. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's not limited to reunions. It's just it doesn't sit right that this like this guy who's the head of I mean, he used to be like the head of I don't know what his title was, but like development of shows at Bravo. Like, how are you also a guy who's like interviewing people that are like basically your employees and asking them such inappropriate questions? It's kind of like wild to me.
Yeah. My other issue is, and obviously he wouldn't do this, but I do think if he was a good host, would call out Kyle for how she was speaking to Crystal, because there is the way that Andy was speaking to Crystal, and then there was the way that Kyle was speaking to Crystal, and neither were appropriate. But um, it's just like the fact that it felt like he was adding on to it versus being like, why
Yeah,
are you speaking to your colleague this way?
right.
Um, so no, I'm glad that he had to apologize. I hope that Garcelle comes back, but if she doesn't, I would completely understand that choice.
She has been through so much over this last season with the bots against Jax, with the way Erica treated Jax, with just with the book, with
Diana.
Diana. It's just the way that Diana just like consistently attacks her. It's just it's just disgusting. I just feel bad for her, and I'm glad that she got such an incredible reception at BravoCon. And I hope that she comes back. I hope that Sutton comes back. I hope that Crystal comes back, and I hope that they can be at least like. And I know I don't like an alliance, but when we already have an alliance formed, we need a counter alliance to take that alliance down. And like, I'm hoping Dorit goes. I'm hoping Rinna goes, and I hope Kyle's on the receiving end of some of the shit that she's been giving people for the last few years.
Yeah, I can't remember which episode Garcelle said it in, if it was the first one or the second one, but I think it was the first one when she was talking about her kids and saying like, there's so many there's so many who don't want me on this show, and you're not going to force me out of here by coming at me, but by coming at my children and making me like protect their safety. And it's just like, shit.
Yep.
Again, like I wouldn't blame her for making that choice. I think
Neither would I.
any backlash she received would be unwarranted because she has gone through so much unnecessary bullshit as a housewife that she wouldn't have had to go through otherwise. And maybe it has put her on a platform that's helped her get jobs or whatever. And if that's worth it, then that's worth it. But if we were to hear that she's not coming back, I would hope that's her choice and not Bravo's. But
I can't imagine it would be Bravo's choice.
yeah, but I would support that decision for her. However, I would love for her to come back.
Me too. I just want the best for her. And that's how I feel about a lot of these housewives that like go through a lot of shit. Like if it's better for you to be, it's almost like how I felt about Taylor Hale on Big Brother. Like I wanted Taylor to win, but at the beginning it was really grim. So I was like, I just don't want her to even be in the situation anymore. Like I'd rather her be at home with her family, surrounded by like love and people who care for her.
Yeah.
And she persevered and she came through and she came out, she won the whole thing and she's incredible, but it's hard to watch.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I agree with you. Some main topics from this episode were Kathy Hilton, and we spent a session talking to Erica about like current legal stuff, which I don't think we really need to focus too much on that. There's a point though that I do want to bring up, which enraged me, was even in Erica talking about the stuff that she's going through, these legal issues, and Kyle chimes in and made it about her when she was like, do you know what, like, she started with like, we've had to go through, like, do you know what I've had to go through because like I'm your friend
Yep.
in this and defending you? I got
Yep.
so mad. I was so mad. I'm like, shut the fuck up just once, Kyle. Like, it is not always about you. How many times did she do it in this reunion alone? Where she like turned it to be about her? Like, oh, did I tell when Dorit was talking about her home invasion? She made it about her. And and then obviously with the Kathy Hilton stuff, like it's all about Kyle. And
She's exhausting. She's exhausting.
I've never been lower on Kyle Richards. She, like, for me, I know you haven't been a fan for however long, but for me, she's always kind of just been a neutral at like worst until really this season, especially. It's just so easy to see when she's purposefully stirring the pot. It's so she just like puts herself in things that she doesn't need to, which then also makes other things that pan out seem just really like not organic. And I know we're watching like Real Housewives, and these women are paid to hang out together and shit, but like nonetheless, it just, I don't like her. I'm very, very, very low on Kyle Richards right now.
I feel like Kyle Richards is the true villain of this show, and she always has been, and she will continue to be as long as she is on the show. Like, I don't think there's anything redeemable. She puts on a good face, right? And I think we saw it in Ultimate Girls Trip. But when she's like on the Beverly Hills Housewives, she's the villain of the show to me, 1,000%. Like, there's Rinna, who's the obvious villain, but there's also Kyle, who's like behind the scenes villain who like really I feel like is driving a lot of like the negativity, and I just I can't stand her. I felt that way since season 1.
Mm-hmm. Before we get to the Kyle aspect of this next part, I'm going to ask you the same question. I told you about my friend who's from the UK that I told her to like watch Potomac next.
Mm-hmm.
So she watches Beverly Hills in Atlanta. She messaged me and she was like, okay, one big question. Whose team are you on for Beverly Hills? And first I said Garcelle. And she's like, no, I mean, who do you believe, Kathy Hilton or Rinna? Whose team are you on? And I would love to start this conversation about the last segment. I should say the second to last segment of the reunion, which is where do you stand on the Kathy Hilton and Rinna stuff?
Can we add Erica as a component here, because Erica threw some accusations as well?
Yeah, we can. Do you want her as a third party or as a Rinna and Erica?
Well, I would say there's Rinna and Kathy, and then there's Erica and Kathy are two separate.
Okay.
Although Rinna and Erica are on the same team, clearly.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that something happened in Aspen, but I think Lisa Rinna is exaggerating extremely, and I don't believe Erica in her accusation.
Interesting.
I don't believe her. I think maybe yeah, I don't believe it. I don't believe her. It seems like there's, and I know a lot of people have been saying this too, like on Reddit, like there were text messages. Kathy obviously deleted those text messages from her phone and didn't know that it didn't delete from someone else's phone when you delete a text message. Like obviously she got caught in that. So something happened. 1,000%. I believe it. And she admitted that. She's like, yeah, I lost my temper. And do I believe she was stomping on glasses? No. Does she seem unhinged enough to just throw her glasses on the ground and start stomping on them? No. Do I believe Rinna was scarred and had to lock herself up and had PTSD because of this? No, I don't believe any of that. Like Rinna is a vile person and she blows up on people all the time. So why all of a sudden would someone yelling about something cause her to have this visceral reaction where she's like wounded from it? Like she's a wounded bird. It doesn't make any, this is not, it's just a lie. That to me is a total lie. And I think if Erica heard Kathy say that, she would have already had said something about it. I don't think we would have first heard about it on the reunion. And I also don't think Rinna would have held it in, because Rinna's all over social media saying crazy shit. So I don't think that we would have ever, I think we would have heard it if it actually happened. And I think they would have texted about it, Rinna and Erica. I think there would be some kind of paper trail. I don't think that actually happened.
I could see that perspective. I don't know if it's just so hard to know what to believe because, like, could I believe in a vacuum that what Erica said is true? Yeah. I could see Kathy Hilton getting mad and saying that, and Erica is the only one that heard it. Sure, I could believe that. I could believe that she got angry and didn't say all those things, but she definitely was angry and maybe acted in a way she shouldn't have. I can definitely believe that part. I think like the component of it that is weird to me, and I'm not sure how to interpret it, is Kyle, because I feel like if it didn't happen the way it did, that Kyle, because of like how she's at least acting right now, not acting, reacting right now, is that like she doesn't want her relationship with her sister to be marred in any way, and especially by her friends. But to me, like if I felt that that was true and I believe my sister, I feel like I would be taking like a stronger stance against it, where Kyle just like breaks down crying and says things like, everything you're saying only hurts me. When you do this, it only hurts me. Where it's like, well, then why are you not defending Kathy more instead of just sitting there and being like, this hurts me, like, and so there's that component, or she is just so fucking self-absorbed that that's all she really cares about is the effect it has on her, which then just makes like all of her crying and hysterics about like, you don't understand, it's going to be so hard for us to make back up, I could tell by the way things ended, blah blah. So I mean, I could believe both, which is why I don't know like what stance to take, because I think both could, I don't think both could be true at the same time, but I think either one of those situations could be true. Cuz to me, I guess the weird reaction is like, if you believe your sister, then why are you not standing up for her more vocally? That's
Well,
the confusing
this
part.
is Kyle, and this has always been Kyle. Kyle's been this way with Kim. Kyle was this way with Lisa Vanderpump. Kyle was this way with Yolanda and the Munchausens, and like it. This is just who she is. She never takes a stand. I don't think she has ever once defended Kim. And Kim, even at that Amsterdam dinner, was like, if Kathy heard her say that to me, she would stand up for me like a real sister. When Rinna was coming for her, Rinna said Kim is close to death, and Kyle said nothing. Like
Yeah.
Rinna has such a hard on for like ruining Kyle's family, and Kyle just sits on the side and remains friends with Rinna when Rinna says awful things and treats her family like garbage. And Kyle has never once stood up to Rinna. Never once. Even now, even though it might look like, quote unquote, that she's standing up to Rinna, she's not. She's just saying, like, why are you doing this to me as your friend? When it's not an attack on you, it's an attack on your sister, and you're making it about you. And that's why, to me, Kyle is the biggest villain of this show. She has never once. I mean, she is the one who exploded on Kim in the limo in season 1 and put all of Kim's issues out in the public, and then basically made herself the victim. Like, oh, my sister hates me, because it's like, yeah, you put her on blast about her alcoholism in front of the world, and then made yourself the victim and never gave her the benefit of the doubt, and then let everybody else on the show treat her like shit and never once stood up for her. So like, I don't blame Kim or Kathy for not wanting anything to do with you. Your husband also took Rick Hilton's clients away, built his own real estate company called The Agency to compete with Rick Hilton's company, when Rick Hilton, and I don't think the Hiltons are good people by any means. Like, I'm not standing up for them, but like, that's a shitty thing to do. You give your brother-in-law a job and get him started in real estate, then he breaks away, makes his own company, and steals a bunch of your clients and probably your agents. Like, I don't know. And like, Kyle's like, oh, she's upset because like, fuck that. You are the one that keeps wronging your family, making a TV show about your mom and your family's issues and not like looping in your family. You're just continuously like riding on the backs of your family to make yourself look good and give you a benefit. So like, I would hate her too if I were her sister. I think she is the villain to me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with that. I just, her involvement in all of this makes it hard for me to be like, I believe this person or I believe that person, because I feel like in a normal person would have a more like expected reaction, and the way that it's just so self-absorbed, it makes it like difficult for me to like, not to believe, but to determine like, how do I feel about what's the truth and what isn't. And I'm sure it's a mix of both sides, but
Yeah. I think something happened. I think Kathy had a freak out. I'm sure she said some pretty bad shit. I think the slur, I'm not saying Kathy wouldn't say that, because I don't put it past Kathy to say something like that. Like, I don't think she's better than that. I just don't think it actually happened in the way that Erica said, because we would have heard about it already. And I think even Crystal was like, the music was so loud that like we couldn't hear what was actually going on. And we didn't know, like, it just doesn't feel like something that happened. It feels like we would have more. If Erica's saying it now and using it at the reunion, like, why haven't you said it all of this time?
oh, probably because it was calculated to save it at the reunion, because if it was her or her camp putting out the stuff in the press, like leaking the stuff that happens, then above all things, Erica is not dumb. Like, she's not. She's married to that lawyer for however long. Like, when a legal thing comes up, she's usually the first one to chime in, and is usually like not wrong on what she says about it. Like, I could easily see her holding on to this for two reasons. One is if she says it, or if that comes out before, then we know it's Erica leaking shit. And two, it's because as this is unfolding, we know that Kathy Hilton is like, could be seen, not is, could be seen as the bad guy. And so to come in with this like haymaker at the reunion
Yeah.
takes, again, which seems like Erica's MO this season, takes the spotlight off of her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whether or not it did or didn't happen, I could see Erica holding on to it purposefully as like,
Yeah,
I've got one up my sleeve.
I could see it. I could see that. Yeah.
And the other thing is, like, to go back to the book thing, she'll keep her fucking mouth shut. She took a whole bunch of shit online for Lisa Rinna. Like,
well, that's her friend. I mean, I don't think she would take shit for Kathy.
no, but
for
I
her
don't
friend, I think she would.
That's what I'm saying is, like, she can keep her mouth closed. She knows how to. She doesn't, like, she's calculated. She knows what she's doing. And so her holding on to that would not surprise me in the slightest. Whether
I just
or not
don't
it did
think
or didn't happen.
I just don't think that Rinna would be able to hold on to it with the tirades that she's going on. Yeah, I think she told Rinna. Of course, I think she. Yeah, I definitely think she told Rinna. I think those two are like. Yeah, I think she. I don't know. I think she would have told Rinna because Rinna was the one that was going on. And it's like the two of them were like, you know, leading the charge. I don't know. I don't think Kathy is pristine here whatsoever, but I think Rinna and Erica are just so unlikable, and they're just Rinna especially. I just don't know what her purpose is. And then when she says things like, this was abuse, like I was getting abused. God. I wanted to rip through my TV screen and just like, the fact that you think that a woman yelling about other people on a show is warranted to call it abuse, like literally fuck you. And like the fact that she was denounced by, I think it was the American Cancer Association for saying like holding this in would give me cancer and I would get sick and die. Like, you're disgusting. You're literally a vile person. She is posting. I don't know if you are familiar with what happened with Paris Hilton and this school in Utah at all. If you've heard anything about it.
I've heard of it. I don't know if I know about it.
I don't know the full detail, but I guess Paris Hilton in her show kind of went back there and she really talked a lot about the abuse that she dealt with there.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of sexual abuse and sexual assault taking place there. And Kathy Hilton put her into this school, and it involved people coming and taking Paris in the middle of the night, and Paris didn't know where she was going, and Kathy had to let them do it. And it was like a thing. And Lisa was posting something from a Twitter, which then the whole internet, the whole Bravo sphere of the internet was trying to figure out if this was actually Lisa Rinna behind this like Stan account. It's like a Rinna Stan Twitter, maybe an Instagram as well. And someone tried to do a recovery email for it, and it looked like it was at lisarinna.com, which was this recovery. So like people were literally like engineers were digging in to try and figure out like it's a whole thing. I don't even know where it ended up, if people proved it or not, but she was reposting disgusting things about Kathy Hilton, saying like, oh, you're taking whatever, people are taking the side of this like mom who was letting people rape her daughter and kidnap her in the middle, like just disgusting shit that like for Rinna to sit on the reunion and say, we had a pact that kids are off limits, and you mentioned a story that happened with where my daughter was mentioned in your book, so I'm going to go on a tirade about it, and you're posting stuff about Kathy's daughter and Kyle's niece, and making a mockery of her sexual assault and actual abuse that she faced in this school. Like, she's fucking vile. She's vile.
I agree. I'm not I have nothing else to say on that because I wholeheartedly agree.
I guess regardless of what happened with Kathy, like, I'm on Kathy's side just because Rinna is so vile that like whatever Kathy said, aside from the slur, if it's proven that she said it, then I would take Kathy's side regardless. Because also if she's talking about ruining Kyle, like, I don't fucking care. Yeah. Why do I fucking care if she's talking shit about Kyle? I don't give a shit. I hate Kyle.
Right. No, that makes sense. The last thing is like I was so annoyed at the end with the toast where Kyle's like, I don't want to be out here for the toast. And Garcelle's like, okay, leave. Like it'd be fake, it'd be phony if you did. But she stayed and or Andy convinces her to stay. And so he brings out the drinks, right? And everyone grabs one and she doesn't take a drink, but instead like
But she puts her
fist bumps.
fist up. Yeah.
She like what oh, okay. That really changes the like
Yeah.
that would be like saying, well, I stand for the national anthem, but I don't put my hand over my heart.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
oh, okay. Like you still did just pick a lane. Like you just want attention so badly. You want it to be about you and just the whole thing. Oh, I I've said it already. I've never been so low on Kyle Richards as I am at the end of this reunion.
Well, I think Kathy's there with you because it seems like Kathy was really annoyed by Kyle
Yeah.
and her antics and her crying. And she's like, really, Kyle? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're going to sit there and you're
They
just
didn't
going to
see each
cry
other
and
again
not defend
until
me? And BravoCon,
what
yeah.
BravoCon, yeah. So
Yeah. I mean, Kathy, she seemed done. I mean, Kathy came to work that day and I
yeah,
appreciate
she
it.
really did.
She took Rinna to task and I loved
Yep.
every second of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Something that like I didn't like was that because I watched it this morning and what's today? Today's Friday, right? So it only aired 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw the whole Kathy part in bits
Yeah.
online, like even before the episode aired. And then
Yeah.
it's just like I wish I got to see it in its entirety and watching it because it
Me
didn't have the
too.
same impact.
Me too. It felt like all like the big moments we got either in the trailer or in like sneak peeks.
Yeah. So I wish
I
that didn't
agree.
happen. But
I totally agree.
all right. Is there anything else that you want to talk about with this Beverly Hills reunion?
No, I'm just ready to find out who's coming back.
Yeah.
Like,
Um,
when do the contracts go out? I need to know because if Rinna comes back, I don't know that I can do it again.
we do. We did hear slash see that Kyle removed all pictures of Erica and Rinna from her Instagram.
Yeah, I would like to know more about that. Maybe
So,
that means we do need them to come back.
do you think it could be like Kyle pulling a move to help get Lisa back?
Yeah, I don't see anything. I don't, the whole, even with what happened with at BravoCon where Erica said Dorit and PK were going to break up. I don't know if it's you that said it to me about I don't want this to be a ploy just to get Erica, to get Rinna, what's her name? Dorit a storyline. I could actually see this being fake drama.
Yeah. I don't know. It could be. I trust nothing that that group does, but
Are they still following each other? Let's see. I'm sure I would have heard by now if they weren't, but let's see.
yeah, maybe. All right. Well, while you're looking that up, we'll end Beverly Hills with this question. We'll go. Well, I guess it'll be a multi-part question, but going through the cast, we'll do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want them back? Do you not want them back? And then the second part of the question is, despite what you want, do you think they'll be back next season? So let's start with I
She's
think.
still following them both, by the way.
Oh, okay. So
And
she's a
Rinna
fucking
Beauty.
clown.
Yeah, she's a clown.
Um, unless she is trying to make a point to Garcelle, like, look, I didn't unfollow them when I had drama. You unfollowed me but whatever. I could see her doing that just to, in this whole thing, stick another one to Garcelle for absolutely no reason. So we'll start with Kyle. Do you want her back or do you not want her back?
If she comes back, I want it to be a Kyle takedown season. I don't want this like main character energy, middle of the road Kyle taking the high ground and just like never taking a stance on anything. If she comes back, I need this to be the Kyle takedown season. So that's my caveat. Okay. Yeah, sure, she can come back.
And then will she be back?
Yeah, I think she'll be back.
Okay. How about Garcelle?
I want her back. I don't know if she will be back.
Understandable. Sutton.
I want her back, and I think she will be back.
Rinna.
I do not want her back. I do not want her back, and I do not think she will be back. I don't know how we can move forward from here with Rinna on the show. with the social media activity.
I don't think she'll be back, and I think she set herself up for the ride off into the sunset with asking for 2 million an episode because she knows that they'll never give her that.
Yeah, and it
And
just
so
puts
it's
her in like a upper hand position of
yeah,
saying like,
like
well, they didn't meet my demands.
right. And I think that's all of that.
Yeah.
Um, Erica,
I don't want her back, but I do think she will be back.
okay.
This is
Um,
going to be her comeback season.
Crystal,
I would like to see her back. I don't know that she's going to be. Maybe she'll be back as a friend.
I could see that happening. Diana.
Nope. 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 Across the board.
Did I miss anyone? I was trying to go in the order of the oh,
Cherie. Oh,
Dorit. Duh. I knew I
I
missed
don't
someone.
think she's going to be back. She's like a nothing burger. I don't want her back. If she's back, maybe she'll be back as a friend, or like Kyle really is going to pull in a favor for her, but
Yeah.
she adds nothing.
Yeah. I agree. I've been saying that all season. I don't want her back. I haven't wanted her back the last couple seasons.
Yeah.
I agree. All right. Well, we have one last show to move on to, which is Potomac.
Yeah.
I feel like Potomac wasn't Potomac is always entertaining. It's just a matter of like what level of drama are we getting? I don't think we
Yeah,
had like
like
a
not that
high
much
level.
happened.
We started off at the high level of drama because we saw the end of Gizelle and Candace's conversation where Gizelle sat Candace down and has said like, listen, after the reunion, your husband asked to talk to me and we were alone in my makeup room, despite the fact that I told him to come into my makeup room, and it made me uncomfortable. And Candace was like, "Oh no, we're not gonna do this. We're not
Yeah.
gonna make my husband the creep. You have Michael Darby to do that. You do not need my husband. Like, we're not
Yeah.
making this the storyline. Keep this breaking the fourth wall in. Like, I want this to be in the show." Like, Candace went all out, and I said it as this started, and I'm saying it again. I'm Team Candace in all this.
Yeah, I feel like the Candace fans are coming away victorious this season. We've been taking a lot of heat over the last few years, those of us who have supported Candace through all of her seasons. And I see it a lot on Reddit too, being like, finally it's our moment. Like people will finally be on Candace's side. But I've been on Candace's side in almost everything that's happened on this show. For the most part, I think her mouth gets her in trouble, but like I've backed her pretty much through, I think, almost all of the drama that's taken place regarding her. And I'm backing her again. She's right. And I love Gizelle. I love Gizelle. She's one of my favorite housewives. I think she's hilarious. I love all of them. That's the thing. Like, I don't really like Ashley, but I love her as a housewife. And I love Gizelle. She's one of my favorite housewives, but she's just wrong here. She is so wrong here. She's just wrong.
And it seems like Gizelle is really acting on her own in this, which is kind of interesting because usually she has the support of Robin or at least one other housewife, but really, like, no one is saying, like, yeah, Gizelle, you have every right to feel this way. Like, at first, Karen, when they meet later in
Karen
the
kind of
episode,
did, yeah.
but then she like kind of backtracked and was like, it seems like you are coming at this from the wrong angle.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like Karen's MO though. Like even with the Mia
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
she like beforehand was like, "Yeah, no, it's weird. I don't know, but whatever." And then she said to Mia like, "People are talking about you." So like she kind of plays the fence a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Robin is completely against everything Giselle is saying, which I think this is maybe the first time that we've ever seen Robin be firmly against Giselle in some kind of action.
Yeah. Which good for Robin because I went back and forth with Frank from the Circle a little bit on Twitter about this, but people are like, Robin's coming for that first chair this season at the reunion, and Frank and other people are like, nah, it's too much. And I'm like, give my girl her seat, give her what
She's earning it. She's earning it.
She is with those dance moves, in addition to uh, her position within the group and just having these conversations or disagreements. But yeah, so we had this conversation and Candace leaves, and the show made it seem like it was said within earshot of Ashley, like, you have your creepy husband, but clearly
They had no idea what was happening.
because
Hmm.
Ashley was like, "Why'd she leave?" And Giselle's like, "Oh, I think she had like an upset stomach or something."
Yeah, this was weird to me that Gizelle didn't immediately turn around. This is why I'm just like, I guess I don't really get the angle. Like, did Gizelle actually feel uncomfortable? Because she's not like fully throwing Chris under the bus because she's not saying it publicly at the table. But
Hmm.
is it just because like she doesn't want to go scorched earth right away and just see how it plays out? Like, I don't know her angle here. It was a little weird.
Yeah, I would have expected her to be like, "Oh, this is what I just talked to her about,"
Yeah,
because
knowing
and
Gizelle.
especially because Ashley first brought up the DMs, and then it was
Right.
Giselle who brought up. Given they didn't bring it up to each other, they both brought them up to Robin.
Right.
But
Right.
Robin was also there. So there was enough people who could have kind of like carried this conversation on, but Giselle decided to not, which is also kind of weird for Giselle. She is more of a like, let's put it all out there kind of person.
Yeah, that's what I'm just kind of like maybe she did actually feel uncomfortable and didn't want to just like spill that to everybody at that table, but I don't know. If she did, I'm not doubting, listen, maybe she did feel uncomfortable. I don't know. Who am I to say? I wasn't there. I don't really know what happened, but like I think it was probably a misunderstanding.
Yeah, I it could also be that she respects Candace at this point. I don't think that they're in a good
Right.
place now, but
Yeah.
at
And I
least
do think she
then,
likes Chris.
yeah. Yeah, they've always gone along, and that's like Chris's point in all this is like I've never done anything to be disrespectful. I've treated you all well. I cook for you. I hang out with you. I try to get along with you, and then to be treated this way or at least perceived this way, like you all are my wives, friends slash coworkers. I'm not going to
Right.
do anything. And that's the other thing, which I think I said the last episode we recorded is like, if you're gonna fuck around with anyone, the last people it should be
Yeah.
is Ashley Darby and Gizelle. Like,
Right. They're the messiest two of the bunch. Like, yeah,
it shouldn't
I
be any
agree.
of the bunch. Like, there are so many
No.
other women that just keep it out of this area, at least because you were setting yourself up for failure. And I just don't think Chris is that stupid or horny.
I I agree, and I also think Chris has been pretty vocal against Michael for being such a creep. Like,
Yeah,
so it's weird that then like Chris would then turn into being a creep. Not to say it can happen, right? Like
yeah.
men, no, let's never put anything past a man. They're capable of anything, regardless of what they say and what they present to people. They're capable of anything, so nothing truly would surprise me. But it just doesn't feel like the way he handled this, even with like Candace talking to him about it, he was so like measured and was just like, I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know if I felt made her feel uncomfortable. Like, I've never gone out of my like it's weird that she would say that. Like, it didn't seem like
yeah.
he freaked out. It's maybe off camera he did, but it seemed
I
like
was
he
gonna
even
say
handled it pretty respectfully.
that wasn't the first time that conversation was
Yeah,
held in the restaurant where they went and grabbed some food. There's
yeah,
no way. But regardless, I I'm not one to say this, but like I kind of feel bad for the man in this situation because um I personally didn't think that the DM deserved the attention that it got, and I think that like this is being misconstrued, and if the DM didn't happen, then I don't think that this
Giselle
situation
would have. Yeah,
happens.
I don't think so
So,
either.
um
I the DM to me, it's a little interesting because Candace and Ashley haven't historically been in a great place. I think the wording, just change the wording and
yeah,
be clear about what you're trying to say so no one can misconstrue it. Because it does say, like, should have come to the W at 3 a.m. She doesn't know that he works there. It's like that could
right.
be very easily misconstrued. Your intentions are not clear here. But if you say, like, yo, I work at the W, like, come down, I'll hook it up. And we talked about this last time. I'll
Yeah.
hook it up. Like, come down, bring your friends next time, and I'll, like, get you whatever, a table,
Yeah.
bottles, whatever. Then it's like, oh, there's no nefarious
Yeah.
intentions here. He works there
Right.
and he has a hookup there and wants to like us to come through. Like it's all good. But just
Yeah.
to say like should have come to the W at 3 a.m. or whatever time, like that's a little. It could be left open to interpretation,
No,
and it was.
absolutely. Yeah. I agree. Um the other drama that happens now, this was all happening at Ashley Darby's TikTok dance class,
Yeah,
by the way,
yeah.
post TikTok dance class, which
Hmm.
What is
Was
he?
it actually a TikTok dance class, or was that just what Karen called it?
Well, I think it was justified that Ashley likes doing dances on TikTok, so
Yeah.
she
So then she
decided
like
to
set up
host
a dance
a
class.
dance class activity for the group that Karen didn't even go to because she found out that remind me of her name.
Charisse.
Charisse. I was gonna say Cherie, and I'm like, no, there's two others. There's a Cherie and a Sheree. I know
Yeah.
those. Charisse was
Yep.
there. And at first I didn't exactly believe it, but with the preview that we get for next week's episode, I'm like, oh, maybe that is why
Yeah.
she didn't show up.
I
So
love Karen.
um but in this, the discussion comes back to Mia's health issues, and Robin and Wendy get into it because Wendy's like, Robin, you were calling her a liar. And she's like, I was saying it was weird. I just think it was weird. And they're going back and forth. And Wendy's like, I believed her. And there's tension there. There's absolutely tension there.
Oh yeah. I mean, I something happened with them, and I don't even remember what it was, but last season, I guess it was when Wendy was talking shit to her at whatever trip they went to and saying like something about her relationship with Juan, even though she was there at the engagement, it was like all excited for her and they were friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really where it went south and like never recovered. Cause I think Robin is just like done with Wendy. Also, Wendy's like a little inauthentic to me. Like she's not my favorite, I will say.
Yeah. Well, um, and I think that's the reason why I love Robin is because she is authentic, because
Yes.
she invites literally every single person and their children to their like
Yeah.
field day event except Wendy in front of Wendy.
Yeah. That was
she's,
great.
she's like, I don't like her. I don't want her kids around my kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, the way she did it was like definitely fucking shady, but it was
It's
also at
so
least
shady.
like right in front of her face. So
Right.
Wendy, if she wants to say something, can, but chose not to. So
Right.
there it is.
Right. I love
But
Robin.
same. I think the more important thing that is going to come up maybe in a reunion episode is, or maybe even later this season, maybe Wendy will actually tell her true feelings. I doubt it though.
I doubt it.
Is that Wendy gets caught with her mic still on saying that she actually thinks Mia is lying.
Yeah, they're like, Zen Wen, are you in a good place with Mia? And she's like, yeah, I mean, I know she's lying, but everybody knows she's lying. Who cares? And I'm just like, wait, you just got into a whole ass fight with Robin
Which is
about
why she's
this.
inauthentic. Like, she's
Yeah,
doing it for the show, not because it's what you actually believe. And like, you could still catch a storyline if you were to actually say what you're
right.
actually thinking versus like, oh, let me have at it with Robin about this.
Yeah. And I don't want to say this in a way that's going to seem whatever. I don't know, it seem like I'm slut shaming her or like shaming the way that she looks or her body or the way she dresses. But last season, the whole storyline was about Wendy and her clothes and how she got this plastic surgery to change her body and talk about like how she's changing the way she dresses and showing all this skin and showing her midriff and whatever. And now she's like dressing like she used to dress again. So it's like, what happened? I don't care how you dress, but like it was weird that this was like such a sticking point last season. And now she's like back to Professor Wendy. So it's kind of like proving Robin and Giselle's point. Almost. I
Yeah.
don't know. I just find Wendy to be like, she came out in BravoCon. It looked like she was like wearing a prom dress. I don't know.
She is a big personality, but not in the natural way that like Gizelle is, or
Right.
Ashley is, or Candace is, or Karen is. I mean, like, I don't consider Robin a big personality, but I consider Robin a strong personality because,
Yeah.
like, Robin believes in what she believes in, and she's not going to waver from that. And where we see Wendy like saying and doing things that then make her look like a hypocrite because literally 5 minutes
Right.
later she's getting caught saying something else or whatever, that she's just like trying too much, and
Yeah.
that never works on this show.
Right. It's a shame. I kind of liked Wendy in her first season, but I felt like her second season she really plummeted in stock for me, and her stock's not going back up for me in this season yet so far. We'll see what happens, but
Yeah. All right. After that, it felt like we got some kind of more like personal check-ins than anything throughout the rest of this, where we've got Candace going through her IVF treatments and when she had to give herself the shot. Yeah. And like FaceTimed her nurse or whatever. I can never do IVF for the fact that I'd have to see like needles going into me.
Yeah, I know you have a needle thing, right?
Yeah. She said it didn't hurt, which like I believe her because in my now experience of getting many shots in my like arm, at least, it doesn't really hurt that. But still, just the like my. Do you see me tensing up like talking about this? It's just people who
what
can
bothers,
do that.
yeah.
Good,
what
good
bothers, totally agree. What bothers me about needles is taking blood because I don't want to see a vial fill up with my own blood. That like grosses me out. But like if I'm getting like a vaccine and it's like boop, I don't look at it, but it doesn't like freak me out. But like taking blood, I'm like, ooh, that's my blood coming out.
They had to take the blood from my hand at my doctor's appointment. Yeah, that was. I didn't see anything. I never see anything. I tell them even when Nitro had to get his vaccine last week. I'm like, they normally do it like through their nose, like squirt. It's not a
that
needle.
Just gave me the chills. I know, but that like even just gave me the chills. Like, oh God.
Yeah, they like spray it up their nose, but they like didn't have it, so they had to put like a needle in his back. And I'm like, I don't want to see it. And they're like, oh, like, do you want to be right here? I'm like, it's fine. I'm just like not looking at the needle.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we've got Candace going through the IVF treatment on her own because her husband is in the hospitality industry. And as someone who dates someone in the hospitality industry, like my boyfriend went into work at 6 o'clock today, which means he's working. They like close at 2, which means he's not getting out there till 3 a.m. Like, I understand.
Yeah.
Candace,
yeah.
I get it. But she's struggling with that. Do we hear anything about her music in this point? I don't know. Whatever. Her music is musicking.
Yep.
And let's see, where else? We have Ashley hearing from more people that she shouldn't be buying a house with Michael Darby.
Yeah. I don't really have many thoughts on this. I think Ashley's like, I don't know. This is just a bad decision. And like, I just wish Ashley would be like, yeah, I'm doing it for the money. Cause like, and I support that 1,000%. That's not coming from a place of judgment. This man is disgusting. Take him for his money. Take him for as much as you can. It's like, I think, and I don't know the exact dates, but she filed for a divorce on like the exact date that was like limited in her prenup or something where she would get a certain amount of money. Like, do it. Be open about it. He deserves to get his fucking money taken. He's disgusting. Like, I don't want her to be like, well, you know, we're separated, but like I had a coochie craving for Michael. No, you fucking didn't. This man looks like Gollum. There's never a chance that you ever were like, I could go for some fucking Michael right now. Like that never happened. I promise you that never happened. Like, don't play with us. Just say like, yeah, I guess maybe she can't because like she's getting divorced, but like, just be like, you know, wink. She did kind of say, I can't afford the house I would want to afford without Michael's money, but like, his name doesn't have to be on the house. Just like, take the money.
I'm sorry. There's no way she can't afford the house that she wants.
I agree. With the housewife salary, I agree.
For too long. And I'm feeling like you have to have some money saved up. Plus, what are you getting in the prenup? Like, you don't have to pay it out in fucking cash like the day of. You can get a loan. You can get a mortgage.
Right. And it just came out that Lisa Hochstein, is that how you say her name? Hochstein from Miami?
You were asking the wrong person, but
okay.
It takes me a while to remember people who are on the current season, much less their last names, but go ahead.
From Miami, who's getting divorced from her like scummy husband.
Oh, the plastic surgeon husband, right?
I think so.
Okay, go ahead.
Who was like publicly cheating on her or whatever. It just came out that she makes $30,000 an episode, and I assume that's like the new season that was limited on Peacock. So if like Miami in a reboot was making $30,000, there's no way that Ashley on Potomac is not making on a low ball $50,000 an episode, but it's got to be above $100,000 an episode that they're paying her. It's got to be. So like you could get one paycheck and for one episode and put a nice down payment on a nice house in
Right.
Virginia or wherever it is you're looking. Like,
Right.
it's not like you're looking in like LA or San Francisco or New York City.
Yeah. She gets 30K an episode, huh?
I guess it came out in their divorce
Yeah, I just
stuff.
saw it when I looked her up. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean, I I don't know. It seems like a weird way to keep him around because he
Mhm.
is involved in the house where like I don't know. She says their thing is confusing, but I'm going to trust the process on this one that it'll come
Yeah, me
out.
too. There's always been something weird about them
Yeah.
that we don't know. And for Ashley, a person who like really puts it all out there, if it's secret, it's secret, whatever. It is what it is. But it's like weird that she's buying a house with this guy. Like, just cut your ties as much as you can. Although she did have 2 kids with him. So, like, what?
Right. Right. Let's see. What else do we have in this episode? So we've got we had the conversation between Candace and Chris, like we already mentioned that. And anything else before they go to what's it called? When Giselle goes to Karen's? Yeah. Um,
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know the sequence of events, but like Mia also said, like, Chris was staring at me. He was also
mhm.
staring at me. And like, there are a bunch of screenshots. I don't know if it was on the episode that they did this, but it was like Chris not staring, Chris still not staring, or if it was just like online, but like he
I
obviously
think it
was
was
paying her
online.
no mind. And then she even came out and she's like, I don't even know what I was talking about. And he was like, yeah, this is like not fucking cool.
Yeah.
She walked it back.
Yeah. There was that. Wendy, we did go to the doctor with Wendy about her hair thinning
Yeah.
situation, which basically came down to the point that we already knew about Wendy, which is like she's doing too much, both
And yet she's opening a
on the
restaurant with Peter.
show and in her real life. Yeah, and it's deciding to open a restaurant with Peter. So
She called Peter like a mogul or something. I don't know. She called him something like a successful restaurateur. And I'm like, is he though? Because like, didn't he take money from Cynthia? Not take, but like, didn't he need to use Cynthia's money to like continue to keep these places open? And didn't a bunch of them close? Like, I don't think he's not
right.
someone I would look at as like successful in the restaurant industry. But bring him on the show because I fucking love Peter. So like, I'm so excited because he's the best housewife.
Hmm. Give him his $30,000 an
Oh,
episode.
please. I love Peter. I love Peter.
Yeah, so at the end of the episode, we've got um Giselle going to Karen's house, and Giselle talks about their whole experience at the TikTok dance class and what happened at the end of it with Candace walking out, which she tells Karen the story, and Karen like starts off saying like, "Yeah, I do think that Chris owes you an apology," but um then Karen kind of like backtracks and we're left in a like typical Karen spot, but
We also find out that someone else's husband made Karen feel uncomfortable and she spoke to
right.
Bravo about it.
Which husband is Karen referring to that hugged her so hard she needed to consult a minister about it? That's what this Vulture article said.
I would like to know.
Hmm.
I have thoughts.
What's your guess?
I think it's either Monique's husband, Chris, which is a
Oh, that
long
makes
shot,
sense.
or uh, Mia's husband. Because he's a fucking creep.
Oh,
He was like licking his
yeah.
lips at her last season. So I
Yeah.
would
That one
assume that
makes
it's
even
him.
more
Yeah.
sense. That
I
makes
think
even more
Monique's
sense.
husband, Chris, is a long shot. Um,
I could see her
but
saying that he hugged her so hard that he's just like a big ass dude. He just doesn't realize his strength. It's like was it like Lenny from Of Mice and Men? You know,
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
did you see me like petting the mouse in my hand
Yeah. Yeah.
to like symbolize it?
Yeah. I say it could have been okay. The fact that she didn't say who it was doesn't make me think it's Mia's husband because like I don't think she would hesitate to say like, yeah, it was this dude. And I think she's cool with Monique, and that's why I think maybe she didn't say it was correct. Those are the only two I could think that it would be. Also, not that many of these women are married. And if it was Michael, she would say it was Michael.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's like off the table.
Right. So yeah, like not it wasn't a jam-packed episode by any means. I don't have anything else to say about it, but
No.
it has like the same characteristics as Atlanta does, where you don't need a ton of shit to happen. It's just because of like the way these women interact with each other that keeps you entertained. Where I feel like the opposite happens in something like Beverly Hills, where they feel like they need this drama all the time, but it's
Yep.
really like not that entertaining. Where give me Potomac. I love it.
Yes.
There wasn't like a lot of major shit. But it's just fun to watch.
Yeah. I just love, exactly. I love watching them interact with each other. I love that they have the most OGs
Mhm.
throughout all of the casts because I just feel like they're, I know I sound like a broken record every time, but I hate alliances, but I love people who have real relationships. And like you can tell that these people all have real relationships, especially when Gizelle and Karen are getting along. Like I love the Gizelle and Karen dynamic. I just think they're so funny together. I think Karen is like so shady to Giselle.
Mhm.
Karen just is so funny. I like their frenemy relationship. That
Yeah.
makes me happy. And I just like watching people that feel like they actually know each other and like have known each other for a long time and just aren't like a random mix of people thrown into a room together. And you can really feel like that's not what this is.
Yeah, the casting they did with Potomac from literally the get-go, season
Yeah,
1, top
incredible.
notch.
Yep.
I don't remember anything that happens in the preview. So,
They just go to whatever thing is next week and Karen pretends to be
oh,
sick.
right. I do remember because I already referenced it.
Yeah, that's all I remember.
Idiot.
That's all I remember.
Yeah. Karen pretends to be sick at Robin's field day because
Mhm.
Charisse shows up.
Yeah. Yeah.
The real Grand Dame.
According to Robin.
Hmm. Before I ask if there's anything from the internet we need to talk about, I don't remember if you told me. Did you watch all of Dallas?
No, I'm in and out on Dallas. I think I watched one full season, maybe all of
Okay,
season 3.
got it. I'm in the middle of season 1 right now, and so I wanted to know what your opinion was on some of these women, but I haven't like the only thing I know is that they're racist towards a doctor who is Asian, correct?
Yes.
But she's
I mean,
not on this season.
that's not all they're racist to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Leanne is a full-blown racist in one
Okay,
season too.
that doesn't surprise me at all. I was going to
No,
ask.
she's just unhinged.
She is the way she's like twisting the season 1 storyline against Brandy, where she's like, this woman talks so much shit about me. Where like every time Brandy has like had a face-to-face conversation with her, she's just like, you're right, I'm sorry. Until like it got to a point where she couldn't just stand there and like try to brush her off and try not to be mean. And I'm not a Leanne fan, so I guess that makes sense that
Well, Brandy's also a trash person too. She had
oh, she
her
is.
own racism scandal where she was posting videos of herself pulling her eyes tight and
Oh no.
yeah, no, everyone is a dumpster fire on Dallas except for Stephanie. I think is okay. I don't know if
I don't
Stephanie's
know
in
with
season 1.
Stephanie yet. Yeah,
I don't even know if that's her name.
there's a Carrie who spells her name
Yep, Kari
differently than
Duber.
me. Yeah, her husband is strange.
Oh, just
He's
wait until the roundup.
oh god. And
Just
then there's Brandy's friend, the blonde one. Is that Stephanie?
yeah.
She has like the husband that's rich that bought her, like took her to a jewelry store season 1 and be like, pick whatever
I
you
didn't
want.
really watch season 1. I'm looking at the cast.
I can't remember people's names because I don't have to pay like podcast attention to it. I just like when I was
Yeah.
building the desk thing yesterday, I had it on, like that's the level
Yeah.
of attention it's getting from me.
Yes, Stephanie is in season 1.
Okay.
Blonde.
That- yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's Leanne, and then there is the other one, Tiffany or something.
Yeah, I think she's only in season 1. Like once
Got it.
Deandra gets there and whatever the other girl's name is who's the actual racist, like against Tiffany Moon. I don't know if she comes in season 2 or season I guess she comes in season 2.
Okay.
But that's like the main cast. Like the season 1 cast is like a little weird.
Okay.
Well, that Tiffany person doesn't exist anymore after season 1.
Got it. All right. So then
Deandra and
hold
Leanne are
tight.
like the stars of Dallas. I'm not a Deandra fan either. I don't like anybody on this show. So
Okay. Good to know. All right. Is there any internet news that we need to know? I'm hoping you say no because I really have to go to the bathroom. So
okay, I can say no. The only thing is that Kim Zolciak Bierman's house is up
I did see
is
that.
getting foreclosed on, and it's like up for auction.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Rough,
good luck to the
rough
highest
stuff.
bidder. Okay.
Good luck.
Katie, in 30 seconds or less, what are you doing? Where are you online and what are you doing?
Yeah, online I'm on Twitter at RealSomeKatie. I'm on Twitch at twitch.tv/RealSomeKatie with an underscore. And if you are listening to this Friday or Saturday or Sunday, the weekend of Halloween, I will be doing a 24-hour stream starting Saturday. What is that? The 28th, I think, at 4 p.m.
No, today's the 28th, the 29th.
Okay, 29th. 29th, starting at 4 p.m. going on into Sunday at 4 p.m. So stop by my Twitch if you would like to just come and see me going off the walls at like hour 20, probably hour 12. Other than that, you can find me on Silent Podcast talking all things The Challenge with Kari, talking all things House of the Dragon. The season just ended. We released our finale podcast. We're doing one more tier list to wrap up all of our thoughts on season 1 next week on Fire and Pod. And then you can hear Naomi and I talk about Andor if you like Star Wars. And if you like Star Wars and you're not watching Andor, you are fucking up because it's some of the best Star Wars I've ever seen.
Nice. I'm KGD26 on all platforms, including TikTok, where I am documenting my rotisserie chicken week. If you don't know what I'm talking about, because I haven't really talked about it on this podcast, and you are just a Cool Water Show podcast listener, since Monday, I have eaten rotisserie chicken for every single meal. And I want to say exceptions, but the additions to this are one meal a day I eat a condiment with it, and another meal a day eat vegetables with it. And we're just seeing if I can do it, and also seeing how much weight I lose in the process, because it kind of like aligns with like Weight Watchers idea of 0 point stuff. Whatever, watch my TikTok, I explain it. So check out there. And then in terms of Silent Podcasts, we just wrapped up our mole coverage. We're working on getting interviews. I'm talking about the challenge with Katie on TJ Hates Quitters, which we are recording very soon, like tonight soon. And this. So yeah, just talking about the reality TV shows over here. But otherwise, we have this like video I'm gonna play at the end. Subscribe, follow, listen, all that shit. You're like, you know where to find us. It's fine. You don't need this right now because I need to go to the bathroom. So I'm gonna play out this 18-second video and then leave. So we will catch you next week with just Potomac and Salt Lake City coverage, because Beverly Hills is done. RIP. But until next week, we'll catch you then, unless you're going to stick around and listen to us cover the challenge. Then we'll see you in like 15 minutes. Okay. Bye. Thanks for listening.